In today's video, I'm going to show you how I added gutters to my shed. This is an easy DIY project, and you can pick up all the materials at Home Depot. So let's get started. My septic system had these sprayers, however my county decided it was necessary to install a drip line, and one of the requirements was also to install these gutters on the shed. Even though they only required me to add it on this side, I went ahead and added the gutters on both sides of the shed. It was important for me to match the same style gutter and color on the shed so that everything looked uniform. And so I went to the Home Depot and I picked up these 10-foot sections of gutter. I'm using an aluminum gutter, and since they only sell 10-foot sections, I had to put two of them together. So let me show you how I did that. To cut the gutter to length, I used a grinder with a metal cutoff wheel on it. However, you can use a hacksaw or some aluminum cutters, just anything that you have that will get through this material. Once I had it cut to length, I used a slip joint connector and some gutter sealer to join the two pieces together. I just applied a good amount of sealant and then slipped it over the front of each gutter, making a tight connection. And then I used some of these screws to join it all together. Next, I repeated the process of adding the gutter sealant and end caps on both sides of the gutter once I had my final length. You just got to be a little bit careful here when you're applying it because you can get some of that sealer out and it's pretty sticky. On the back side, I just put a few of these little screws and it held it all together while it dried. Next, I used a Sharpie to trace out the hole for these downspout outlets. And then I used some aviation snips to cut out the hole. This is not my best work, and I probably should have spent a little more time cutting out some of these fish hooks. However, it's going to be covered up by the downspout outlet anyway, so I wasn't too worried about it. I added some more of this glue sealant and pressed it into the hole to hold it firmly in place and attached it with some screws. At this point, the gutter was ready to be installed, and I started off by adding a string line to one side of this fascia board, and I ran it all the way to the other side. And figured out where I needed to put it in order for there to be a small slope. It sloped down about a ½ inch. Once I had the slope I wanted, I went ahead and snapped the chalk line and moved on to getting the gutter ready to install. I started to add these hidden hangers at about every 2 feet, and these are what are going to hold up the gutter on the shed. I used a couple ladders to maneuver it into place, and then I used my drill to screw in the first hanger. And at the other end, I verified to make sure there was a slope and screwed in the other side. I realized I messed up here and should have installed the gutter under the drip edge. However, I used this short drip edge and the pitch wouldn't be enough to where the water would flow through easily. I was advised by someone that installs gutters professionally that all I have to do in the future if I see an issue is just install some flashing that will guide the water from under the drip edge into the gutter. So it's a simple fix, however, I should have just placed it up a little bit higher. Next, I attached a downspout elbow to the gutter and then cut some downspout so that it would reach the wall and connected it with another elbow. So in order to attach it to the wall, I used some clips. Now the clips were originally white and I spray painted them brown to match the gutter. I added the full length of downspout so that it would travel all the way to the bottom of the shed, and then added another elbow so that it would draw water away from the shed and out into my yard. Once the downspout was attached, it was time to test the gutters and see if there's any leaks and see if it worked. So I threw some water on the roof, watched it travel down into the gutter, and made sure there were no leaks. The water was flowing down and out the way it should, and there was no leaks, so this thing is done. This was an easy DIY project, something you can knock out in a couple hours or so. So go to your Home Depot, check out their gutter section, and you can do something like this too. I'll be including links to all the products that I used in this video in the description, and thank you guys so much for watching.